Sound coming from apartment 401 asterisk before we begin. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because what you're about to hear can happen to anyone living alone. And if you've ever heard a noise coming from an empty apartment, this story is going to stay with you. Olivia Price moved into apartment 301 on a cool September morning. She had 2 suitcases, 1 cheap coffee maker, and a hope that living alone for the first time would be freeing. She chose the building because it was quiet, simple, and close to her job. The rent was cheap, almost too cheap, but she figured it was because the building was old and tucked behind a noisy street. She signed her lease without reading too deeply. Like most 26-year-olds, she just wanted a place where she could shut her door and breathe. For her first several weeks, everything was ordinary. She worked, she cooked badly, she watched late-night crime documentaries, and she slept fine. The neighbors were polite, but distant. People here minded their business, especially the landlord, Mr. Ames, an old man with half-moon glasses and a habit of saying, to every question. Apartment 301 was a top-floor corner unit. Her ceiling slanted slightly, matching the shape of the building's roof. She liked that. It made her feel tucked away, safe, until one night, her 16th night living there. She was woken around 12:40 a.m. by a loud scraping sound directly above her bed. She sat straight up, heart pounding. It wasn't a pipe, it wasn't wind, and it wasn't the creak of settling wood. It was the unmistakable sound of something heavy being dragged across a floor. Slow, long measured, scar rape. She held her breath. Scrape. Pause. Scrape again. She stared at the ceiling, confused. There was no 4th floor. No attic. No neighbors above her. She tried to convince herself it was a dream, or a noise from the street somehow bouncing upward, but the sound was right above her, like someone was dragging a dresser, or a chair. The scraping stopped. Then came a second sound, soft, repetitive, rhythmic. Thud, thud, thud. Footsteps. Olivia's stomach tightened. She turned her lamp on and waited. After a minute, the noise faded. The next morning, she walked down to the administration office. The landlord sat behind his cluttered desk, tapping numbers on a calculator. "Mr. Ames," she said, "is anyone working on the roof?" He looked up slowly. "Roof? Nobody goes up there. I heard furniture moving. Last night, around midnight." He shook his head. "Impossible. Roof is sealed. No attic, no crawl space, nothing." "Are you sure?" He smiled weakly. "You're the top floor, Miss Price. There's nobody above you." But she had heard someone. She knew she had. That night, she avoided going to bed. She stayed on the couch watching TV until she couldn't keep her eyes open. At 1:12 a.m., she dozed off. Scrape. Her eyes snapped open. Scrape. Scrape. Then a pause. Then the same deliberate footsteps. Thud. 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 Her breath hitched. The footsteps were slower this time, almost dragging. She pressed her ear to the ceiling. A long breath, too long, too human, exhaled from above her. She jerked back. A chill rushed down her spine. She called the landlord again. "Ames, I'm telling you, there's something up there." He sighed. "A raccoon, maybe. Pigeons. Something on the roof." "No, pigeons don't drag furniture." He was silent for a moment. "Miss Price, no one has access to the roof. It's sealed, locked, and the key has been lost for years." Her throat tightened. She said nothing and hung up. The next night, she heard the scraping again, and the night after, and after. At first, it was just furniture and footsteps, but over time, the sounds became stranger. Sometimes it sounded like someone crawling, slow and uneven, palms dragging across wood. Sometimes it sounded like a cough. Once, at 3 a.m., she heard a faint laugh, dry, breathy, short. She stopped sleeping in her bed. She slept on the couch instead, but even from the living room, she could hear occasional knocks on the ceiling above her bedroom. 3 knocks. Always 3. After almost 3 weeks, she finally asked a neighbor. Chris lived across the hall. He was mid-20s, friendly, and stayed up late playing video games. "Hey," she asked casually, "do you hear anything at night?" From above, Chris paused, then nodded. "Yeah, sometimes. Like footsteps or dragging." Her eyes widened. So it's not just me. He shrugged. This building is old. Probably rats or something. Rats don't sound like a chair being dragged. Chris's expression shifted, uncertain, nervous. Well, okay. Full honesty. The last girl who lived in your unit said the same thing. She moved out suddenly. Didn't even finish her lease. Olivia felt her skin prickle. What happened to her? No idea. Just one day she was gone. Packed up and left overnight. Wouldn't talk about it. Olivia felt dizzy. She went back to her apartment, locked the door, and sat in silence. That night, she decided to stay awake the entire night. She made coffee. She set her phone to record. She sat on the couch with the lights off. At 1:46 a.m., it started. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Then, the sound of something heavy being dropped. Then footsteps, fast, almost frantic. Thud, 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 thud. Then silence. Then, knock, knock, knock right above her bedroom. Olivia covered her mouth, tears forming. 5 minutes passed. 10. Then, at 2:03 a.m., her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Asterisk, stop listening. Asterisk, she froze. Her heart slammed. She typed, who is this? No answer. Seconds later, the scraping resumed. This time it was moving across her ceiling, toward the living room. Scrape, scrape, scrape. She backed against the wall, eyes locked on the ceiling. Then came another text. Asterisk, don't go on the roof. Asterisk, her chest tightened. Who was this? How did they know she was listening? At sunrise, she decided she needed answers. She marched downstairs and knocked on the landlord's apartment door. He answered with a confused expression. Mr. Ames, she said. I want to see the roof. Today. He looked pale. Miss Price, that area is unsafe. Then why am I hearing someone up there every night? He looked past her as if making sure no one else was listening. Fine, he whispered. Meet me in 20 minutes. She waited in the hall. He returned with a rusted ring of keys he claimed he hadn't touched in years. They climbed the narrow stairway to the roof access door, a metal hatch above the third-floor landing. The hinges squealed loudly as he forced the lock. The door opened. The roof smelled like tar and mildew. Olivia stepped out slowly. She expected debris. Leaves. Maybe an animal nest. She did not expect a chair. A single wooden chair sat in the center of the roof. Old. Splintered. Unpainted. Under it was a dark square on the surface. A section of the roof where the tar was newer, uneven. Someone's been up here, Olivia whispered. The landlord swallowed hard. I didn't put that here. Olivia crouched and ran her fingers over the uneven tar. It was soft. Recently applied. This was patched maybe days ago, she said. He nodded. Yes. Before you moved in, there was an incident. Incident. He hesitated. A tenant claimed someone was living between the ceiling and the roof. Maintenance checked. They found evidence of habitation. Her heart raced. Like what? A mattress. Food wrappers. Tools. Wires. Olivia felt her stomach drop. The scraping. The footsteps. The texts. Where's he now? She whispered. He didn't answer. Olivia inspected the roof carefully. That's when she noticed something that froze her blood. On the far corner, near the edge, was a square of tar peeled up slightly. Not enough to notice unless you looked closely. She slipped her nails under the edge and lifted. A hollow space. A crawl space. Just large enough for a person to slip into. She screamed. The landlord grabbed her arm. Don't. But it was too late. Inside the dark crawl space were blankets. A torn backpack. Empty cans. A cracked cell phone battery. And dozens of small holes, vents, that opened directly into the apartment ceilings below. Every unit, including hers. And next to the blanket was a thick metal pipe, scratched heavily on the sides, worn like it had been dragged. She staggered back. Her breath hitched. He lives here, she whispered. He's been living above us this whole time. The landlord shook his head slowly. We sealed this last year. Someone opened it again. Then someone has a key, she whispered. He didn't deny it. That night, Olivia didn't sleep. She sat on the couch holding a kitchen knife, all lights on. At 1:22 a.m., Her phone buzzed again. A message from the unknown number. Asterisk, why did you open it? Asterisk, her heart stopped. Another text. Asterisk, you weren't supposed to see that. Asterisk, she turned her phone off, grabbed blankets, slept in the hallway. The next morning, she went straight to Chris's apartment. You need to help me, she said. Something's wrong. Chris let her inside. When she explained everything, he stared in horror. That crawl space. I thought that was sealed. It was, she said. Someone reopened it. Chris swallowed. My first month here. I heard someone breathing in my vent. I thought I was losing my mind. They decided to call a maintenance inspector privately. He agreed to check the crawl spaces in secret. He crawled up there with a flashlight. 15 minutes passed. 20. Then suddenly, running. Something moved fast overhead, above the hallway, scraping, scuttling, dragging. Then silence. The maintenance worker didn't come down. After 10 more minutes, Olivia called his phone. No answer. When the landlord opened the hatch again with help, the crawl space was empty. Completely empty. The blankets, cans, tools gone. Only the chair remained on the roof. The maintenance worker wasn't found that day. Or the next. Or the next. By the end of the week, Olivia packed her entire apartment into her car. She didn't tell anyone except Chris. She didn't even break her lease. She just left. But 2 nights after she moved out, Chris texted her a single photo, a wooden chair, sitting directly in the middle of her old living room, and a message written on the wall in black marker. Asterisk, apartment 401. Asterisk, there was still no 4th floor. There was still no apartment 401. But someone wanted her to believe there was. Someone who had watched her every night. Someone who lived inches above her ceiling. Someone who wanted her gone. Or worse, wanted her back. Before you go, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story isn't about someone living above you. It's about someone living inside the walls.